What's going on, guys? Thank you for watching today. I want to talk to you guys about something that's close to my heart. All you guys see is the posts, the success, the reels, the cool stuff that happens inside of life, but I want to share with you guys something that I haven't shared before on here, and it's going to be the struggles, the hard stuff that has led to the opportunity to do the cool things in life that everybody gets to see. It's the behind the scenes stuff, the things that aren't fun, that aren't sexy, that have led to the opportunities that I've had now. Going back a couple years, before I even entered college, I had a single mom, 2 brothers. Dad walked out on us when we were really little. Money was always a problem. My mom worked 2 jobs, took night classes. We barely really ever saw her. We always struggled financially. We moved around a lot. We were homeless at different times, living at people's different houses, grandparents, aunts, uncles, lying to the school district about where we lived, just so we could go to this one specific high school that my mom wanted us to graduate from, so we could go and get a job and graduate, right? Because they had a really good graduation rate. And we ended up, one of the places where we lived was a 1-bedroom apartment, and my mom had the bedroom. Me and my 2 brothers slept in the living room together, and we shared that area, and it was kind of like ours, and my mom kept that place for a couple of years. I ended up playing hockey in college, and I came home one summer, and I was driving home from the gym, and I got into a fender bender, and my car was technically totaled, so I couldn't get another one, and that was kind of like the last straw of like frustration, getting so mad. I went outside on the balcony because we had a place above this tiny little barber shop that was downstairs. You could like hear through the floor because it was like not that nice of a place. But I went outside and I sat there, and I was so mad at myself because I just ruined the one thing that I had saved up all this money for and put into, and I didn't even have a way to get back to school after that. So I was so upset. And what I ended up doing after sitting outside by myself for about 2 or 3 hours is I went inside and I just Googled, how do people get rich? How do people get wealthy? What do people do to make money? Because I was so tired of it. I was following the path that everybody told me to follow. Go to college, get an internship, get a job, and then you'll be set and you won't have to worry about money anymore. And I had an internship. I had a 3.8 in college. I was a leader on my hockey team. I was doing all the right things, and I was still broke. I was dead broke, paycheck to paycheck, working a ton of hours, trying to do DoorDash on the side, trying to do different things just to make some extra money. So I was tired of it. So I started to Google and do some research, and I came across different YouTube videos, different podcasts, and I landed on Brad Lee's podcast called Dropping Bombs. I listened to that podcast. I still listen to it today, but this was me going into my sophomore year of college. From that moment, I learned about entrepreneurship, and I started to learn that there's different opportunities to be able to make money. And I didn't even realize that there was other avenues. All I was ever told was go to school and get a job. So I started to explore some different things. I started to read books and watch videos and listen to podcasts consistently, and I just started to pick up these little habits. I started to think that I could do different things. I started to believe that there was other avenues that I could take. So I tried network marketing, affiliate marketing. I tried to start an online clothing brand, and I tried to trade options in the stock market all over the course of about 15 months, and I wasn't successful at any of them. And I was trying to figure out different ways to make money. And I remember one day I had a girlfriend in college, and she was like, I feel like, because I would always tell her and show her these videos and talk to her about this cool stuff that I was learning, and she was, not really understanding it. She would say, I feel like all these people just talk about how to make money, and they don't really teach you like actually what to do. And I was like, I swear to God, it's on the tip of my tongue. And I just remember telling her that and being like, I'm gonna figure this out. It's like my mission at this point. And I would read books, and I remember I would be like, the next page of this book is gonna give me the last piece of the puzzle that I need to start making money online, to start making money in different avenues. And so I heard a podcast in December of my junior year, and at this point in time, I still had my internship, I still had a 3.8 in college, and I was still playing college hockey and everything. And the podcast was about Real Financial and Brad Lee starting an insurance agency. So I was like, man, that's a really cool opportunity. I'm gonna do that. Because at this point in time, I was so tired of where I was going. And if I take a couple steps back, that semester in college, I asked my manager how much money the entry-level positions make, because they were like, planning on hiring me on in 2 years or a year from then. And I was told about $42,000 a year. And that like broke my heart, because I was like, I'm going to school for 4 years. I'm doing this internship. I'm getting crazy good grades. I'm studying so much. And all that I'm going to get is $42,000 a year. So I decided that at that point, I was going to drop out of school when I heard that podcast. And I got my insurance license. I went and I finished my last season of hockey with my team. Season ended, ironically, the same time my girlfriend dumped me. And I ended up just saying, you know what? I'm out. I'm leaving college. I moved from Maine to Pennsylvania in with a friend, and I ended up just living at a friend's house and just dialing the phone 12 hours a day, every day, 6 days a week, and then prepping business and studying on Sundays. And I sucked at first. I made 5,000 calls without making any sales. But I just believed that this path was gonna work and this was my way out. So I took out a loan for $1,500, put it all into leads, didn't have any money in my bank account. I still have a screenshot. And I had to take that chance on myself and believe in myself at that point because I was just fed up with everything else and that other path that was there. So I took that chance. I ended up making some sales, started to close some business, started to figure it out. Fast forward about 3 months, I'm the top rep in the company. And at the same time, Brad Lee partners with Andy Elliott to run the training and his wife, Jacqueline Elliott. And at this point, Andy is trying to learn about insurance because he's never sold insurance. I'm the top guy at that point. So Andy reaches out to me and we're talking about sales training and what the training should look like and how Andy should structure the training. And the first phone call I ever had with him was 3 hours long. And we went through my entire life, my goals, where I wanted to be. And he basically convinced me to move out to Scottsdale, Arizona and live with him. He was asking me all these questions and he said, what's holding you back from coming out here? What's holding you back from changing your life? And I was like, nothing. And then I thought about it and I was like, man, actually yesterday me and my friend signed an apartment lease together. And he just paused and he screamed into the phone, you're thinking so small. And I remember just being like, man, like, all right, I'm coming. Like, I don't care, you know? And I didn't want to pass up that opportunity of mentorship, so I was going to go anyway. So I had called my friend and I had told him that, hey, Andy Elliott reached out to me and he said that he wants me to come out to Arizona and live with him and he wants to mentor me and build me into a badass and all this cool stuff. He was like, well, I think you should like sleep on it for a night. Like, you know, it's a big decision. It's a big transition. Like, are you sure? And I was like, I'm not going to let someone else take this opportunity. Like, I'm doing it. And I packed up all my stuff that night from his house and I put it in my car. I drove to see my mom in the morning and I drove from Pennsylvania to Arizona and I lived with Andy for about 4 months. And I learned some of the most valuable things that I'll take with me for the rest of my life from that time. It was the coolest 4 months of my life. And there's no doubt about that. One of the things that I want to share with you guys is that a lot of people think that high performers are just naturally successful. But one of the biggest takeaways I've had from spending so much time with Andy is that he is consciously deciding to do the things that are going to get results no matter how badly he doesn't want to do them. I've seen him operate off of no sleep. I've seen him operate off of very little sleep. I've seen him go a long time without eating. I've seen him sit in front of a Zoom camera with different companies and owners and sales reps and sales teams for hours and hours and hours. And he gets up and has to run to the bathroom and run back. And I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story from the most valuable thing I think I took from Andy. It's one day we came home from work, I'm working all day, and Andy said to me, did you like that presentation that I did? Because he gave a presentation to the Army recruiters, and it was like he knew every in and out of their business, and he crushed it, right? And I was like, where did you even have time to come up with like the whole presentation and learn all that? And he just like stopped and like sighed and looked at me, and he said, you're so much more capable than you think you are. He said, you can handle so much more than you think you can. And that changed my life because I just started being self-reflective and thinking, how much am I actually leaving on the table? Where's my limiting belief and the cap that I believe that I can accomplish? And how much more can how much farther can I take that? So I started going crazy. I started putting up crazy numbers, really listening and doing every single thing that Andy told me to do. And I started to get crazy results. But the thing about that is that everyone sees the results. Everyone sees the big numbers, the cool stuff, the trips, whatever they see online. It's not that glamorous and beautiful. It's 12 to 15 hour days on the phones, by yourself, making phone calls, connecting with prospects, spending time doing the work that's going to get the result. It isn't just natural. You have to put the time in to develop the skill set. And as you develop the skill set, it gets a little bit easier, but you're still working incredibly hard. So for everybody out there that thinks that, you know, these people are superheroes or like they would get nervous to meet these people. Everybody that you see online that's doing big things or cool things or that you look up to is just like you. They're just making different decisions every single day of their life. And they're doing things that they don't feel like doing. They're waking up early, they're operating off of less sleep, they're spending more time on the phones than you to be able to get more money, they're paying people to help them with their media, their social media development, their business, their team, they're paying people to help them do these things. Instead of hoarding all this money and just paying their bills, they're actually reinvesting back into their business, into other people to help them run their opportunities more. And it's crazy because you think that these people just have some magic touch, but really they just think a little bit differently. They're really hardworking and they know where they want to go. These are the only differences between the people who are successful and all these people out there that just work 9 to 5s and are confused and don't know where they want to go. So if you're out there and you have a 9 to 5 or maybe you're an employee somewhere and you're watching this video, or you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to figure out your next level, I'm challenging you to get crystal clear on exactly where you want to go, because once you know where you want to go, you can develop a plan to actually get there. You can take tactical steps to build your business that way, to be the business that needs to be run to produce X amount of dollars. You can have measurements set up along the way so you know you're moving in the right direction. You can set up KPIs and you can understand how much effort and time it's going to take for you to get to those results. But if you have no idea where you want to go and you just want to become successful, you need to get more clear on where you actually want to end up. And it's one of the things that I've learned from Andy and Jacqueline, spending so much time with them, is they know exactly where they want to go. And if it's not along that mission, then they're not going to do it. So going from then, now I'm helping Real Financial be running as a whole by running all the trainings with Andy, and I'm onboarding new agents, developing leadership, developing sales rep, and I've had this opportunity given to me because I've dedicated my entire life to this opportunity. I am not missing this one shot of mine to take success. Right? There's a quote that I like a lot, and it says, I think it's Eric Thomas, and he says, you have to take advantage of the opportunity in the lifetime of the opportunity. I didn't want this opportunity to slip by and for me to miss it. And the fact that I had dropped out of school, I left college, I moved in with a friend, and I have no money in my bank account. And then 4 months later, I'm living with Andy Elliott, and he's pushing me and showing me all these different things and how to be successful and how to be great at what I do. And the next, 4, 5, 6, 8 months go by, and now I'm helping run the entire company. And 12 months ago, I didn't even know what any of this was. I didn't know that this life existed. I didn't know that this stuff was out there. So along the journey, you're gonna be confused. And along the journey, it's gonna be really hard and uncomfortable because you're not used to these things, these different ways of thinking, getting these results, putting in this certain work, right? The point of me making this video is to show you guys, because when I listened to Bradley's podcast for 2 years before I really took action on an opportunity and committed to it, I heard all these successful people tell their stories about how they were in a similar place to me and then they ended up being ultra successful. And I just didn't understand it. But as I listened to all these people tell their stories, what I realized is I can do what they can do. I just have to do what they did. So the day I decided to commit and do it is the day that things started to work for me. And going from dead broke, no money in my bank account, to the top rep at Real Financial, to living and being mentored by Andy Elliott, to then helping run the entire agency and training and developing salespeople. I mean, opportunity is everywhere, and you just have to be open-minded to it. So guys, this video is being made for you out there who maybe needs a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of a push, rather than feeling sorry for yourself with whatever situation you're going through, because tough times are happening and they are going to happen in your life. And it's not about the cards that you were dealt, it's about how you play the hand. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit back and complain and feel bad for yourself? Or are you gonna take the necessary steps to be able to build the life that you actually want from the place that you're at? Because let me tell you, it's gonna be a cool story to tell once you actually get to the other side.